Excellent. Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. What brings yourself and Torstone to Sibos here in Amsterdam?
Well, it's great to be back at a real in-person Sibos again. I mean, Swift and its Sibos conference is so important to the industry in terms of the convening power. It's the one place, it's the one event in the year where you truly have a global representation of the major bank and players. It's interesting because you have both the payments world and the securities world, and the majority of the participants here are more on the payments side, but there is a large minority of people involved on the securities side, and that's the industry, the part of the industry that we work in, and so it really is one of the biggest groupings of securities professionals, equities and fixed income trading professionals and operational professionals, in the world, and so it's always a phenomenal event to connect with our clients, talk to the market, and just make sure we're in sync with the industry. And so it's again nice that it's back here in person.
Let's break that down a little bit. So I mean, the securities as a sort of an industry offshoot of all things financial services it's been an interesting time the past few years. What are some of the biggest challenges in securities that you're seeing with your clients at the moment? What is it that's keeping them up at night?
Well, I mean, look, given everything that's gone on in the last few years with volatility, the operational challenges we all went through with COVID, the securities industry obviously had to deal with all that, and frankly was very resilient. However, I think with all of that behind us now, there's a big change agenda moving forward, and especially right now the big talk in the securities world here at Sibos and more generally is around the move to T+1 settlement in North America, in the US and Canada, which is currently being planned in 2024. So a lot of debate here in Amsterdam around that. Again, it's a very aggressive agenda. I think it's going to involve a lot more change, operational change, technology change than people might even be appreciating right now. That's part of the discovery process for the industry. And so moving forward, there's going to be an awful lot of change on the agenda across the board. Again, not just in North America, but it also impacts Europe and Asia. Anybody who's trading US or has US flow is going to be impacted. So again, that's been a big part of the debate the last couple of days, is I think the increasing understanding of the ramifications of this. And it is a sea change in many ways for the industry.
Let's break down regulations, because I always think there's sort of two elements to regulations. There's ticking a box, basically adhering, making sure you don't get a big fat fine. But then there's also taking a step back and looking at the ethos and the reason for the regulation to be there in the first place, the root cause. How do you work with your clients with all things regulation to ensure that they adhere to the ethos as well, which also kind of helps future-proof for future unwritten regulations?
Right. I think the key thing for us and how we engage with our clients is that we have a very flexible platform that frankly can be changed quite easily, certainly in comparison to more legacy hardwired systems, where if you need to add new fields, you need to get new data out of the system for reporting purposes, you need to change an operational workflow. You can do this, you can configure it, and it's frankly not heavy lifting compared to a lot of hard coding in a legacy environment. So we definitely want to make sure that our clients are future-proofed. And I think, but there's different types of regulation, obviously, and you talked about the ethos. We go back and look at CSTR, for example, and some of the, obviously had a good aim for greater efficiencies, but frankly, the industry over in Europe hasn't had quite the effect. And so there's still an ongoing challenge as to how is that regulation truly going to impact. Now, the T+1 change is fundamentally different because it's, again, an entirely different operational flow in having your settlement cycle shrunk from where it is now down to T+1. And so it's not something that's going to require marginal change. It's going to require, again, wholesale operational and technical change that is fundamental. That's why I think that, the industry the next 2 or 3 years is going to be spending an awful lot of time figuring out plans, because again, it impacts every bank and broker-dealer in North America, but again, European and Asian players as well that have US flow. So that there are different kinds of regulation. This one is fundamental. And again, back to your point as to why it's coming from. I think the good thing is that it's all about greater efficiencies. for the end users, for the clients of our industry, right? We want lower capital requirements, we want a faster turnaround for settlement. I mean, this will deliver fundamental benefits to the financial services industry clients. And I think we can all agree it's a wonderful thing. So it's an exciting thing to be working on.
Very, very good answer. The last thing I want to touch on is Torstone as a whole. What are some of the products and processes you're promoting at Sibos here at Torstone? What's on your agenda for the future?
Sure. Well, I mean, at Torstone, we feel we have a very unique proposition because we're a cloud-based SaaS platform. We're one of few, if really the only fully cloud-delivered post-trade platform in the market. And so our value proposition to our clients and to the market is to really help them digitalize, to get off of their legacy environment and be able to adjust to all the change we've been talking about. And so that is a whole new delivery model to move to the cloud, to move to SaaS. We're very excited about taking clients on that journey. The other angle is that we are cross-asset. So we don't just handle equities or fixed income, we handle securities, we handle derivatives, and we also now handle crypto, digital assets. So the ability to offer all of that capability on one platform we think is exciting for our clients because there's more efficiencies there and they're not siloed. And then the other angle that we think is unique is that we're a real-time, event-driven system. Again, we're not, a lot of the processes in this industry are still batch, right? And again, back to the T+1 agenda, it's going to be very difficult, a lot of operational risk to be dealing in a T+1 environment when you're relying with any batch processing in there. So we offer real-time, event-driven processing, which, in this day and age is something I think we should all be aspiring to. So all that together, that's the value proposition. We're excited about helping the industry change and move forward. And given T+1, given everything we've been through with COVID and everything else the last couple of years, and given all the macro challenges right now in the economy, we really feel that the next 2-3 years will represent a massive change, again, operationally and technically in this industry. So we're there to help, and it's a very exciting place to be.
Lastly, what do you think of this event?
Well, look, I think it's great to be back. I've been to a lot of Siboses over the years in my career at Torstone and earlier jobs. Again, I think it's such a unique combination of people coming in from all over the world. I think the Swift team have done a great job in bringing new ideas to the table. This whole InnoTribe angle to Sibos is phenomenal as well. And so I think they run an amazing agenda. There's a lot of value they bring. So it's a great part of this industry, and I really applaud Swift for their convening power and what the value they bring to the community. So it's terrific.